7th century AD. At the opposite you can see 7th century AD is actually the time for them to do, I think, some renovation. But originally it is coming from the 1st century, from 2nd century AD. Most probably it was actually belonging to one of the early Christian who was living in Sardis city. It's believing the name of this gentleman was Dimitri. Dimitri was the one of the first of Christian who accepted his religion in this city, and he was helping especially priests so much to do the baptizery in his shop. At that time, Christianity was still a hidden movement, and they were suffering so much by the Jews. Because of this reason, you can see the original basin over there with 2 crosses. That was especially the place where Dimitri was offering the space for the priest to do the baptizing for the babies. This is Dimitri's shop, one of the periodic important name from the Christian Midas. Midas is one of the famous story about him was about his donkey ears that we heard. Because he was punished by God Apollo, he was having 2 donkey ears. To hide his donkey ears, he was always wearing his scarf. But Midas was very smart, he already know. This was the lost teacher of God Apollo. He was a satyr, he was an advisor for God Apollo. He brought him to the temple of Apollo and he went to his god. God Apollo feels so happy about this. He loves his artist. You can wish whatever you want. I promise you, whatever you wish will come true, he said. Then Midas says, I wish whatever I touch turns into gold. Apollo said, go ahead. He started to touch actually everything and he started to make everything gold which he touched. But later he regrets because by making a big mistake, accidentally he touched his beautiful daughter and she was also actually converted into a golden statue. Then he went back to Apollo and he asked, what should I do? How can I turn my hands into normal? Ladies and gentlemen, God Apollo say, go to the western part of Turkey, find the river Sardis first water spring, wash your hands over there, then I promise you your hands will come back to normal. He came to this city. He washed his hands with the river over there and his hands really come back into normal. He touched his daughter one more time and his daughter also restored back to life. But we know what happened. Since that time till now, ladies and gentlemen, the mountain you see at the opposite of the beautiful river already became one of the richest gold mine in Europe. Not only in Turkey, in whole Europe. That's why you can feel this was the one of the richest. Hayırlı olsun. Sağ ol.
Hanımefendiler de sizden mi?
Benden.
Tamam. Duvar üstüne çıkıyorlar.
Tamam.
Onları uyaralım.
Uyaralım.
Burada küçük bir uyarı yapalım.
Tamam.
Hadi
Öyle.
yapalım.
Tamam. This was a very rich city, ladies and gentlemen. They have very good gold mines. Plus, in the 3rd century BC, those Jews who migrated from Babylon to here, they built one new trading route between Iran and Sardis. And they built one big synagogue. Where is the synagogue? Synagogue is on the left side, you see, ladies and gentlemen. This was one of the biggest synagogue of ancient Turkey. It can hold 1,000 people capacity. By the way, when I say synagogue, don't think the place for them to pray. Synagogue at the same time was the social meeting place. Here was the place where actually meet each other. Here was the place where they talk about some business. Here was the place which was using actually as a hosting house. So this was actually the center of the Jewish trading, especially in the 3rd century BC. This city in the Roman time also was a very rich city, ladies and gentlemen. Then St. John sent his letter to this city. We know this was one of the top richest cities in Turkey. And people of Sardis, that's why they knew as very materialistic people. They care about money very much. They care about their luxury stuff very much. That's why when you look at the letters of St. John to these people, you can see there are lots of warnings about their behavior. This is one of the most well preserved and one of the most well restored buildings I can say in the world from an ancient city. It was restored in 1958. Thanks to them, American University, Cornell University, they are sponsored for all the restoration here.
These are original.
Exactly. So all the pillars which you see here is all original, but they were reconstructed by the American archaeologists in 1958. I can say the pillars, everything. For example, do you remember I mentioned you about the capital of the column? I say there is Doric, there is Ionic, there is Corinthian, and there is the combination of three which we call composite. It's hard to see. Only here in the city you can see the composite style in German, the mixture of all of them. This is Ionic, you see, look like one of the one. Another one is Corinthian, the opposite you see. But can you see this one? It's the mixture of three of them, Corinthian, Doric, and Ionic. This shows how city was rich. So Americans, they really spent so much money for the restoration, but actually whatever you see here, I can say 95% of it remind us of all this of the building. What kind of building was this? This was the gymnasium and the bath complex. It was a place for the rich people to come and make some body exercise, and they were enjoying their bath as well. How do they do? This building has three separate sections. You remember the entrance actually over there? That's the lukewarm section, ladies and gentlemen. Not so hot, not so cold. That was the place where they were changing their clothes. This was Palestra, the entrance. Over there you can see the hot section at the opposite. That's at the opposite there was a huge garden because you understand from its name. It was exhibition section. There was one swimming pool over there. This was the place where the slaves were making some massage for them. Usually rich people of Sardis, they always come here with minimum 2 slaves for massage. One of them is male one, another one is female one. First, male one actually was making some kind of massage for himself. Secondly, the female one was bringing some olive oil and she was making some massage for her. Then actually was full body with the oil. But this massage is not only for his health, it is for his pleasure as well. One kind of pleasure, I think you know what I mean. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the city with the rich, but at the same time, unfortunately, it was very immoral. And especially Jesus taught during that time, he needed to send his warnings to people to change their attitude. Write this to the angel of the church in Sardis. Here is a message from the one who has the 7 spirits and 7 stars. Again, one more time, he wants to mention about 7 churches of Asia Minor. I know what you do. People say that you are alive, but really you are dead. Wake up. Make yourself stronger before what little strength you have left is completely gone. I find that what you do is not good enough for my God. So don't forget what you have received and heard. Obey it. Change your hearts and lives. You must wake up, or I will come to you and surprise you like a thief. You will not know when I will come. But you have few people in your group there in Sardis who have kept themselves clean. They will walk with me. They will wear white clothes because they are worthy. Everyone who wins the victory will be dressed in white clothes like them. I will not remove their names from the book of life. I will say that belong to me, belong before my Father and before his angels. Everyone who hears this should listen to what the Spirit says to the churches. In this letter, ladies and gentlemen, there are a few things which are very important. First of all, he's warning people here to change their attitude because they were only caring about money. They were only caring about their luxurious life and they lost their faith. And he said, if you don't do that, one day I can come. No doubt, Jesus one day will definitely come. And it will be very unexpected. That's why he said, like a thief. Can we expect when thief will come and enter our house? No, we never know. But punishment will be coming as unexpected as a thief. But if you follow actually the right way of your faith, he said, I will come and bring the white clothes, which means purity, to be clean. So he teach them to be clean. He teach them to be moral. This is actually the letter which was sent for the people of Sardis.